All right, let's jump right in and talk about squirrels.
Yeah.
You see them all the time running around doing their thing.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought about what they're eating? I mean, they're always grabbing acorns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But today, we're going to do a deep dive into what they're eating, from those adorable little baby squirrels to those, like, crazy adults.
Right.
We've got this great report here that breaks it all down. You're not going to believe what these little guys need when they're babies.
It's really fascinating, actually, how much their diet needs change, like as they grow up.
Yeah.
Like when they're first born, those first 10 to 12 weeks, those baby squirrels, they can only drink their mother's milk.
Oh.
They're completely dependent on it. Can you imagine that? Tiny, pink, hairless little things.
Yeah.
Blind, deaf. They need mom for everything. Every calorie, every nutrient.
So cute, though.
Oh, they are adorable. And we call them altricial. It basically means that they're born really underdeveloped.
Okay.
Yeah.
That really makes you think about how important the mother squirrel is, huh?
Oh, absolutely crucial.
But, okay, what if something happens? What if a baby squirrel gets hurt or something and it needs our help?
Right.
What do you even feed a baby squirrel? Like, they're so tiny.
Well, the first thing, believe it or not, is hydration.
Really?
Yeah, you got to make sure the baby's warm and it's got enough fluids.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll use Pedialyte.
Oh.
Or even just like sugar water. That can be a lifesaver.
Oh, wow. Okay, so no milk right away.
No, not until the baby's all stable and hydrated. Then we can start thinking about milk.
Yeah, okay.
And here's the thing, you can't just give them cow's milk.
Really?
No, or like human baby formula.
Why?
It just doesn't have the right stuff that they need.
Mm-hmm.
It can even cause problems, like diarrhea.
Wow, so baby squirrels, they're picky eaters, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. We have to use special formulas, like Esbilac.
What's that?
It's actually a puppy milk replacer. Works great for squirrels too, though. Another one is Fox Valley. It's really popular with wildlife rehabilitators.
Okay.
Some people, they like to make their own like goat milk formula.
Wow.
Add a little heavy cream to it, to get the fat content up.
Okay.
You just got to make sure it's as close to real squirrel milk as possible.
That sounds complicated.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so how often do you have to feed these little guys?
Oh.
Because it's not like 3 meals a day, right?
No. It really depends. It depends on how old they are. And even, what kind of squirrel it is.
Wow.
Like if you have a newborn, like an eastern gray squirrel,
Okay.
we're talking tiny amounts, like less than 1 cc
Wow.
every 2.5 hours. And you got to do that all day and all night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Then as they get a little older, you can feed them more at a time, but less often.
So it's like having a human baby.
It is very
But
similar.
not feeding.
Okay.
But eventually they have to start eating, solid foods.
Right.
So when does that happen?
Around 6 to 7 weeks, we start to introduce solid foods.
Wow.
But it's really gradual.
Okay.
They still need that formula for a while.
Okay.
And you might be surprised at what they start eating.
Oh, I'm picturing them munching on little leaves and berries.
And think even softer. Like broccoli,
Oh.
sweet potatoes, fruits like apples and grapes,
Wow.
even nuts
Oh.
like pecans. But we have to give it to them in really small pieces.
Oh, okay.
You can even give them baby rusk.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The important thing is that it's easy for them to digest, and that it's kind of like what they'd be eating in the wild.
That's amazing. All that variety, even when there's so little.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just like human babies. They need all sorts of different nutrients.
Exactly. And as they grow, they're getting ready for the big change.
The adult diet.
Exactly.
And that's where things get really interesting because they go from drinking milk to being able to eat almost anything.
I know. It's pretty amazing.
I can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we've talked all about those baby squirrels. And now they're all grown up, right? Like, no more milk. They're out there, getting their own food.
Exactly.
What's so cool is how they go from, like, totally needing their mom to being these, like, super resourceful eaters. You said they're omnivorous, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Like, what are they actually eating?
Well, it means they eat way more than just acorns. I mean, they love acorns, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But think about the last time you saw a squirrel. They're always, like, checking stuff out,
Yeah, they are.
Always looking for something to eat.
Okay, so what are some examples? Like, what's on their menu?
Well, you've got nuts, of course, like acorns, walnuts, pecans, hazelnuts, all kinds.
Oh, wow.
And they don't just eat the nut, They like the shells, too.
Really?
Yeah, it helps keep their teeth from getting too long.
Oh, okay.
And then they eat seeds like Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, pine seeds,
Mm,
and fruit like berries, apples, grapes, melons. They love anything sweet.
that's amazing.
Yeah, and vegetables too. You know, broccoli, carrots, kales, squash. They really eat a lot of different things.
Kind of like us. But I bet their diet changes during the year, right?
You're right. That's one of the coolest things about them. They change what they eat depending on the season.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like in the spring, they'll eat a lot of buds and flowers,
Oh, wow.
and even tree bark. Then in summer, it's all about the berries and fruits.
I can imagine.
And mushrooms, too.
Oh, cool.
But then fall comes around.
And that's when they go crazy for acorns.
That's right. They know winter's coming, so they got to stock up on those nuts and seeds. You
Mm.
know, they need that extra fat to stay warm.
Yeah.
That's when they start caching, too.
Caching.
You know, burying their food for later.
Oh, right, right.
So smart, right?
So in the winter, they're mostly eating what they buried, plus whatever else they can find.
Exactly. They get really good at finding whatever they can, and that's where that omnivore thing comes in.
Oh, right. You said they eat meat too. So,
Mm.
like, what kind of meat?
Well, most of the time they stick to plants, but if they can get it, they'll eat insects, bird eggs, sometimes even small animals like lizards or frogs.
Wow.
They especially need that extra protein when they're having babies.
It's crazy how they change what they eat, you know?
Uh,
Like, depending on what's around and what their body needs. It makes me think, like, what about squirrels in cities?
right?
Like, how do they do with all the changes we've made?
Well, they're actually really good at living in cities.
Really?
Part of it is because they can eat so many different things.
Oh,
They
wow.
can find food pretty much anywhere.
So it's like we made a giant buffet for them.
Kinda, yeah. But living near us, it can also be bad for them.
Oh, no. How come?
Well, sometimes people feed them stuff that's not good for them, like bread and crackers, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
even candy. They think they're being nice.
Yeah,
But just like with people, those processed foods, they can cause health problems.
I see. Like, not enough calcium, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that can lead to MBD, metabolic bone disease.
Right. We talked about that with the babies.
It's a big problem for adults too, though.
Because they need strong bones, right?
Absolutely. They need calcium for that. If they don't get enough, their bones can get weak and, bend out of shape.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it makes it hard for them to climb and jump.
And to get away from, things that want to eat them, right?
Exactly. And even to eat properly, they got to be able to gnaw on stuff.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
So what can we do? Like, how can we make sure they're getting enough calcium?
Well, the best thing is to just not give them junk food. Stick with natural stuff.
Okay.
Like leafy greens, those are great. Kale, spinach, collard greens, things like that.
Okay.
And some nuts are good too, like almonds and pecans.
Okay, so we can put those in our feeders.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
And remember those rodent blocks?
Yeah.
Those are a good choice too. They're full of calcium and other nutrients that squirrels need.
That's good to know. This has been so interesting. We've learned so much from those tiny babies to, like, all the crazy things adult squirrels eat.
Yeah.
It makes you appreciate how tough they are.
Yeah.
Like they can survive anywhere.
I know. It's pretty amazing.
But it makes you wonder, like with climate change and everything,
Mm-hmm.
can they keep up with all the changes?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And it's something scientists are trying to figure out. I mean, they've done a great job adapting so far.
Yeah.
But there are limits to what they can handle.
Wow. We've learned so much about squirrels. It's crazy. From like those tiny babies to all the crazy things the adults eat. They're so adaptable.
They really are.
It's like they can survive anywhere.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, like with all the changes happening in the world,
Yeah.
climate change and stuff,
Right.
can they keep up with all that?
That's the big question, isn't it? I mean, they've done a pretty amazing job adapting so far to all kinds of environments.
Yeah, they have.
But there are limits, you
Yeah.
know? They can only handle so much.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are like the biggest challenges for them?
Well, climate change is a huge one. It can really mess with their food supply.
Oh, yeah. How come?
Well, think about it. If the climate changes, it can change when plants flower and, when the fruits are ripe.
Right.
So, like, what if there's a late frost
Okay.
and it kills all the berries?
Oh, no.
Or a drought,
Yeah.
that could mean no acorns.
Wow, that would be bad,
Oh,
especially for the winter.
right. Exactly. They really rely on those stored up nuts and seeds.
Yeah,
If they can't find enough, they might not make it.
that's so sad. And then there's habitat loss, right?
Yeah, that's another big one. As we build more and more, we're taking away their homes.
And their food sources, too.
Exactly. And when forests get cut up into smaller pieces, it can isolate groups of squirrels,
Oh,
make it harder for them to find mates,
I
when to
saw.
find all the different foods they need.
And it probably makes them easier targets for predators, too.
It does, unfortunately. So, yeah, they're facing a lot of challenges.
It's a lot to think about. But it sounds like their diet is, like, the most important thing.
It really is, yeah. If we want to help them, we need to make sure they have access to good food,
Even in cities, right?
especially in cities. That's where they need our help the most.
Okay, so we talked about giving them calcium and not giving them junk food.
Right. No more chips and cookies for the squirrels.
Okay.
But there are other things we can do too, like planting trees and bushes that they like.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Native plants are the best. They provide food and shelter.
That's a good idea. And what about those wildlife corridors?
Those are really important too. They're like pathways that connect different habitats.
Yeah, okay.
So squirrels can move around safely
Yeah.
and find more food.
It's like we're building them little highways.
Kinda, yeah. And even small things can help,
Yeah.
like leaving some leaf litter in your yard.
Okay.
That gives them places to hide and find insects.
So basically, just be more aware of them and try to make our yards a little more squirrel friendly.
Exactly. Every little bit helps.
This has been such an awesome deep dive. I can't believe how much we've learned.
Me too. It's amazing.
I feel like I'm seeing squirrels in a whole new way now.
I know, right? Those little guys are tougher than they look.
They really are. They're like little survivors.
Mm.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you learned a lot about these amazing creatures.
Yes, thanks for listening. And the next time you see a squirrel, take a minute to appreciate it. They're a vital part of our ecosystem.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.